To truly understand what extinction is, you first need to learn why it is that we even need plants and animals in the first place. You see this guy? This is a cow. And you see this? You know what this is. This is a bowl of cereal. Humans love to eat cereal. And you know what would literally not be possible without this cow? This bowl of cereal you love so much. But maybe you're not much of a cereal kind of person. I got you. How about some toast? Some buttered toast. You can have that, right? No. No, you can't. You can't have toast or cereal without cows. For both of these things, you need milk, which, of course, you guessed it, we get from cows. And this is just one example of things we get from cows. For all of you meat eaters out there, if cows went extinct, you wouldn't have any of that tender, juicy steak you love. And for the vegetarians, you might think you're safe from this lack of cows, but nope. Cows graze on, live in, and eat lots of grass, and without the cows to eat this grass and fertilize the soil beneath, farmers would never be able to grow the food you eat. Now you may be thinking to yourself, but if I can't have the milk, or the steak, or even the plants grown from their excretion, I'll just eat things from other animals. And while that may be a solution for you, how foolproof is it really? I mean, look, farmers are already struggling to keep up with the demand for cow-based products. And so without cows, it becomes even worse, as all the demand for these products is dumped on other things, making the work of farmers harder and the likelihood of more extinction much, much more likely. Now we've got that example out of the way, let's dive into something a little bit more real and a little bit less exaggerated. So, bees. You heard me. Bees. Bees, bees, bees. We need bees. And not just for the honey they make, or for the honeycomb we eat, but for something so much bigger than just our luxuries. And I'm not talking about like, okay, we lose a couple flowers. No, I'm talking about like an end of the world's ecosystem kind of deal here. That's pretty scary if you ask me. And you want to hear something even scarier? No? Well, too bad, I'm going to tell you anyway. Last year, it was recorded that from April 1st, 2018 to April 1st, 2019, the world's managed bee population decreased by 41%. And that's only around the annual average since 2006. So why is it we even need these adorable little balls of pollen, I hear you ask? Well, terrific question. You get a gold star. The reason we need bees is because they are the perfect pollinators. Pollination is the act of transferring pollen from the male anther of one flower to the female stigma of another, thus creating a seed that then produces another plant. Did you know that over 90% of the world's most widely used crops are visited by these pollinators, and that, again, bees are the perfect pollinators? So without bees, we could very quickly run out of plants. Like, no plants, nada, zilch, goodbye plants. And now you may be thinking to yourself, oh my goodness, what could possibly be causing this rapid global extinction? Well, if you're thinking that, then I advise you take out your handy pocket mirror and take a good hard look at yourself. That's right, it's us, the human race. We are ultimately the killers of these little cute pollinators. There are many reasons a species can go extinct, but a huge one for bees is the destruction of habitats. This can be caused by such things as habitat clearing for agriculture, or logging, or even mining. All these things are caused by human consumption. More general reasons for extinction are things like pollution, climate change, so global warming, that thing that your grandparents don't believe in, and the evolution of virus and bacteria, again, all caused by us. Now you get the gist of why extinction is generally bad, and why and how, and more importantly, who causes it, you need to know what we can do in order to stop it, or at least slow it. So I'm going to list these things off in no particular order, but the first thing we can do is give more of the Earth back to nature. Amazingly, only 3% of Earth's land is actually protected from harm, like mining, logging, and general flattening. This, ironically, is a growing problem. This protected land is perfect for habitats of animals, and having more of it would greatly help the whole, mass extinction thing looming over us. The second thing we can do to slow the end of the world is to reduce our global use of fossil fuels. Fossil fuels are things like coal and oil, and you remember that Greta Thumb person? Oh yeah, her. Well, it turns out she was actually onto something. If we don't slow down the rate at which we rely on fossil fuels within the next 10 years, the damage will be irreversible. and so even more bees and a number of other species will surely completely die out, giving way to the eventual end of the world. And that is no exaggeration. The third, not last, but arguably most directly influential thing we can do is to seriously fight animal poaching, sport hunting, and trafficking. For those of you slightly less cleverer people of the group, or perhaps just less informed, poaching is the illegal killing or capturing of wildlife. The reason this is such a big problem is, again, because of human consumption and the use of materials gathered from animals. Probably the biggest victims to this inhumane hunting is the rhinoceros, who's hunted mainly for its horns. Worse than killed, these animals are often captured and harvested of their horns and hide and left to die, all of this having been done to them while they're awake. So what can we do to prevent this? Well, us as individuals, not a lot, but there are a lot of stricter laws that can be put in place to slow and deter poachers and hunters from killing the wildlife and habitats they live in. But on the other hand, what you, yes, you, can do is to sign petitions that oppose poaching and enforce the laws against it. So, now you know just the basics of extinction and what causes it and how we can slow it.